look great in the red, matches with the market. Yeah, I saw that when I was fixing my thumbnail. I'm like, yeah, this was totally meant to be. Okay, so looking at ape, market is going down. If you're using a Fibonacci, we can drag it up to the high at 15,5810 to the low. Market came back up and retested that level. So what we can do now on the 4-hourly chart, we can still identify this. Can you see how perfectly the market, if we would have used the support trend line like this, you can already see how the market did retest it. Can you see how perfectly this is, guys? This is amazing. You saw the market break it, you saw the retest, market is now continuing to the downside, but we can try to figure out. If we see some movements to the upside now, I would use 12.3452 and potentially 12,380 for another entry. The stop loss, I would have it at 12.6400. Where is the overall target? Oh, it's pretty far away. Okay, so if you just want to have like small take profits, 0.8555 take profit 2, 11.8947, and take profit 3 will be 11.7324. Sorry to ask this. I understand it's all about crypto. Ain't you trading US30 again? You made me love it. We can go into US30. There's no problem. We can do that. I found your channel 72 hours ago. Gained more knowledge than in the last 6 months of trading. Oh my God, Rhythm. Where have you been? Welcome to the channel, guys. I'm so happy that you find me. Okay, but we can go to US30. That is totally fine. I was actually looking at US30 today. And you can see the market came back up and retested the Fibonacci level. So US30 is also a pair I usually trade. And the same thing here, guys. We can just go to the weekly chart. Yeah, I do expect the market to pull back down now to 32,180. The sick thing when it comes to US30 is it's a very strong pair to trade. From the entry back down to the first target is it is 25,080 times your money. So it's a lot, but this is on the weekly chart, so obviously it's a lot of things that will happen. But if we're looking at what's going on, so US30 was actually the first pair that I started to trade, and it's like crazy because I lost a lot of money when it came to US30. It is so... US30 is all fake. That's based on printed fake cash. Well, I don't know. I don't care about that, Smoking Joe, because the profits you get from it is really good. Just from this retest back down to where we are now, that is 635 times your money. But this is something that you always have to remember. The stop loss, I would have my stop loss and minimum 500 pips. Minimum. Sometimes when I'm having, if I have trades on US30, I can have like 1,000 pips of my stop loss, because the more you gain, you also have to risk more. So US30 is a very strong index pair to trade. So I wouldn't recommend it. You need to back test it first, like really much. It's really good when it comes to market structure. But you always have to remember, it can take your money away from you like that. I remember this was in the beginning when I traded. I had some good profits. I think I took like a account from like 20, no, not $20, like $200 on US 30 up to like $2,500. I lost all of the whole account in 3 minutes because I was too greedy. And my brother was looking at me and he was like, "Are you not supposed to go out of the trade yet?" And I'm like, "No, no, no, no." And I remember it was a buy position that I was in. And I told him, "No, it's going up. It's going up." And he's like, "But it's going down." And you know exactly what happens to your brain. You can't see anything. And I just saw everything that I built up, and this was in the beginning, right? And I was so proud of it, and I just saw everything just disappear in 3 minutes. In 3 minutes, it was crazy. And my brother, he was looking at me and he was like, "But I told you." I didn't speak to anyone in 3 days. I didn't speak to anyone in 3 days. Some of my friends tried to call me. I was in deep depression. I hated myself so much. So that, I know exactly how you feel when it comes to that. It's horrible. It's horrible. I made the mistakes too, George. Everyone is making that mistakes. Everyone is making that mistakes. And a couple of weeks ago, I gained like 5K. 5K in 1 week, not like 3 days. And my greed took over. I lost everything in one day. And that was awesome. I mean, it didn't actually affect me that much. I saw the greed that I did have, but it didn't affect me that much. And I love that. I actually loved losing those money because it just made me feel like, okay, you know what? It's not affecting me as much anymore. Gotta go through the stages of grief for loss. Yeah, it's horrible, but it's a part of the game. You have to take it. I've done the same thing. Lol, we have to go through the losses to win. Yeah, the losses is the greatest teacher that we have when it comes to trading. It's horrible, but you always have to go through it over and over again until you actually learn and you're sick and tired of losing. It's very good to hear your trading story, Dubs. Yeah, thank you. Emotion sucks. That, yeah, I mean, it's crazy. And sometimes, I mean, even today, sometimes it's hard sometimes, but I definitely get a lot of better. But that is obviously because I now have more control over myself. I understand myself so much. And there's one guy, I'm sorry, I'm going to go into the chart soon again, but there's one guy in England. His name is Sean Lee. He's really good at trading, like he's really good. And he was also talking about how important it is to be in line with yourself for even to be able to trade the market. And I was listening to that video that he was talking about like a couple of months, like a year ago, 2 years ago. And he just explained exactly how powerful you will be when you understand yourself, because the trading will always bring out everything inside you. So when you're having losses, like loss after loss after loss, that is only you, that is only the reflection inside of you. And the more healthy you are with yourself, the more healthy everything on the charts will become also. I've learned the hard way too. It's damn hard sometimes to stay cool when you see things more drastically. Yeah, yeah, and especially when you're having so many good traits and you think you are like a god. I have to stop myself so much. It's easier for me now because I have a strategy and I follow that strategy 100%. So when I lose, I know, okay, next time. So it's totally fine. That is why it's really important to, oh, Michael, thank you so much. Thank you. I'm speechless. I wish you were my grandmother. I wish I was your grandmother too. NGN is that even a coin? Oh no, the cat starts again. Okay, Michael Nova, you have to tell me what that is. Okay, Michael Nova, you have to tell me what coin that is. NGN. You're really cool. You're really cool. Currency, I mean. That's Nigerian currency. Oh, I thought it was dollars. I was like, whoa, that is a lot of dollars. But thank you anyway. But NGN. Is it USD, guys? You have okay. So I guess this is the one. But guys, I mean, stick to the coins. Really? And you have to give me the whole one, guys. Even if you pay me for it, but you have to give me the whole one. You need to give me exactly what you need. Can't wait to be your student, Songo. I can't wait either to teach you. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna go to the charts again. Phil. Okay, one more time, Michael. You have to give me the whole coin. You have to give me the whole coin and I can go into it. I'm not ignoring your coin, but you have to give me exactly what you want me to look at. Sleeping Golden, no problem. Thank you for being here. Everyone should please destroy the like button. Michael, can you hear me? Give me the right coin. Okay, let's see. Let's see. To be honest, I'm in love with you. Well, thank you. Oh! Of course. I mean, you know, of course. I don't think he asked you to look at la la. Of course. Well, I'm trying to be nice. Sorry, guys, you hear the cat in the background. He's talking because he's frustrated. I told you this yesterday. Okay, so Phil, taking this one away. We're going directly to the weekly chart. And we're breaking... We're coming back down to the support at 17.15. Okay, so looking at the daily, or we can go directly to the weekly chart. So what I did, I took it a Fibonacci from the last high that we did have at 30.40 to the low at 17.10, going to the daily. We know now the market did respect these Fibonacci levels. We are heading back down to 13.80. So that is where I do believe the market overall will go at the moment. Looking at the 4-hourly chart, the market has already done the move. But if we see the market potentially pulling back up a little bit, I'm gonna look at how this, even if we see the drop now, if we see the market pulling back up to potentially, because I mean, I don't have anything else now, then if we see the market pulling back up to 18.92 or potentially 19.09, but we do have the drop now. So the market has kind of already done the move. So, I mean, this is just letting the market do whatever it's supposed to do, because we do have a huge drop at the moment going on. But if you see the market pulling back up to these levels and a quick just retest, target 1 will be 17.95, 17.23, 16.60, and target 1 on the higher time frames. I do believe we can come back down to 13.77. So yeah, you can see here how the market did break because everything that we saw here was just a pullback. And we saw the market breaking the pullback support trend line. We saw the retest, market dropped. So sometimes we can go into an entry when we're breaking the support. You see the break, you see the retest, continuation, or we're using the Fibonacci. So you don't always have to use the Fibonacci. Support and resistance zones and trend lines is also very good to use. I don't do that so much because I'm so focused on my Fibonacci because it gives me the perfect entries. But just like something that you can go back and back test. Grandmother, I wish you were my wife. Thank you. You tell her, Felix. Yeah. Harmony, we can go to Harmony, of course. 1 USDT. Guys, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please go inside and do that. Welcome, first of all, to the channel. If you are new to the channel, we are going through live streams day by day and multiple updates about cryptocurrencies. And if we're going to my YouTube channel, I did speak about this level a couple of yesterday, actually 18 hours ago. I did have 3 different levels where I did expect the market to pull back down from. And we saw the market on Ethereum pulling back down from the first level. I was in a sell position today. I took a sell limit order. It got activated and it took my take profit at 40,276. But I do expect the market now on Bitcoin to pull back up to 40,200 and then drop back down. So I do have a sell limit order on Bybit around at 40,200. So I wouldn't be surprised if we're coming to this level soon, if we're not see the huge drop. Don't forget that you can also receive a bonus on Bybit up to $4,100. By doing that, you're supporting the consensus. It is a super great bonus that you can receive. But if you're going to my channel, guys, you saw that I was talking about this one yesterday. If you're new to the channel, if you're new to trading, please go inside to my YouTube channel, Crypto Trading for Beginners, and especially Market Structure Part 1 and Part 2. This is what we use when we are trading the market. I explain very easily how market structure is working, and it is the core of trading. Okay, so we can see the market pulling back up now, guys. So looking at 1, we can do this. We're taking this one away. So this is going to be exciting if we see the pullback. On 1, I'm looking for the market to come to 0.12,023, potentially 0.12,070. From these levels, I do expect the market to pull back down. Stop loss 0.12,290. Take profit 1, 0.11,768. Take profit 2, 0.11,582. Take profit 3, 0.11,434. So that's what I see. Remember, guys, I'm no financial advisor. Market can take your stop loss too, so always have that in mind. Just sharing my thoughts on these cryptocurrencies, and sometimes stop loss get taken, sometimes not. So you always have to have that in mind. Always, it's a part of the game. It's always going to be a part of the game. So using risk management is key, because if you lose the trade, the next trade you'll be in more profit, and that's the whole point with it. So we can go back to Ethereum. So on Ethereum, I do expect us to pull back up to 3,032, potentially 3,036, and then potentially, if we see the market dropping, I don't know if you want to have. Okay, so we're dropping down now. Market is dropping down, but I do believe that we can have a pullback up, to be honest. We're having another 15-minute candle active at the moment, so that is why you can see the market is moving pretty fast. I'm feeling unbelievably excited too. Do not know why, but my screen is dark. I can barely see you. Well, I can see me. I don't know, maybe you should just load it again. Excited is great, don't get greedy. Exactly. That is the whole point. Let's see, we can just look at Bitcoin. So we're looking at Bitcoin at, so this is Ethereum. So what I'm gonna do while we are looking at the other coins, I'm gonna put an alert. So if we see the market coming to this level, we're going directly to the chart. Men snälla, kan du vara tyst? Live makes things blurry here as well, but going back and then forth and the video normally helps me. Can you not go into the, you can just change on the settings on HD and put it to 1080 p60? Okay, let's see what else coins that you want me to look at while we're waiting for the market to. We were looking at one. We're looking at ape. HBR. Did we look at that? I think we were looking at HBR. Guys, tell me what you want me to look at. Or we're just waiting for the market to reach our targets. Everyone excited. Near, neat, near. Oh yeah, Andreas, we can go to near. And Lauren isn't here, but maybe she will look at this live stream later and she will see what we're doing. Okay, what happened here? Did we? So we're already in a trade on near since before. We almost came back up and it almost came up and take our stop loss, but we are in profit now, which is really good. So we're gonna take this one away because it's too messy. Okay, for a pullback now. Okay, so either we're just coming back up and retest potentially 16.264 or 16.303. But if we're just dragging up the fib a little bit, we can come up and retest 16.422 also. Hey. Hey. Yeah. So yeah, just a pullback right now. You saw the targets that I did, the Fibonacci levels. If this is the case, take profit 1 will be 15.911. Take profit 2 will be 15.475. Take profit 3, 15.106. Guys, if you haven't liked the live stream, please go inside and do that. It is 80 people watching, it's 70 people that like the live stream, so please help me to grow the channel by hitting the like button so we can reach out to more people. Okay, looking at Luna. Lauren, I think she's having a class, but oh, Lauren just came. Lauren, we're just about to talk about you. We were looking at near. Okay, Lauren, just a recap, doing this quickly because we did speak about it. We're waiting for the market to pull back up to 16.420, potentially 15.510. If we see the market reaching these levels, what we're waiting for the market to do is drop, obviously, because the market is in a downtrend. Take profit 1, 15.913. Take profit 2, 15.483. And take profit 3, 15.90. So that's what I see. Stop loss 16.940. Really good risk to reward. Okay, so we're looking at Luna while you're welcoming our lovely, lovely Lauren. We're waiting for the market. Okay, so looking at Luna overall picture. Just want to see how it looks on the monthly chart. Okay, so we're closing. Can you see, guys? So this is one of the things that's really important, guys. So if we're using the previous resistance now on the monthly chart, okay, so you can see that I'm using it. You see the box. Okay, now on the weekly chart, we don't see anything special. Looking at the daily, can you see how perfectly the market came back down, broke it? You saw the retest and then you see the drop. How to use these levels is key. And looking at the higher time frames, what we're looking at is a fake out to the upside. So when we have a fake out, the market comes back down and retest this level, and you can see the retest on the lower time frames. So this was also a entry. What we also can do is that we're going down to the lower time frames. And let's see. I'm just gonna see if it actually was a, yeah, so this is really good. So we saw the market, we took the fib from high 97.45 to the low at 80.66, around that level. Oh, okay, I'm gonna look at that one soon. I'm gonna look at it. Market came up to retest the 50%. Market is bouncing to the downside. Super, super good. And now we're trying to figure out where the small lower high can be, because we need a pullback. We can also go to the 50-minute charts. I think that is too far away. So you just might see the market pull back up now to potentially 82.98 and 83.30. And from that level, market is dropping even more. So stop loss at 85.20. So 4 take profits. No, 3. I would use 79.76, 78.60, and take profit 3, 76.41. And you can also see the market dropping obviously to 67.40 and 59, around 60, because that is the higher time frames Fibonacci that we saw the market retest. So I can definitely see market taking. So okay. But it takes some time for the market to reach these levels. Obviously, you'll see the market doing this. So if you just want to have a quick take profit, you take these 3 and potentially the 4th one at 76.52. Yeah. Okay. So let's see OCT for Wayne. OCT USDT. Overall target, we saw the market in a downtrend now on the weekly chart. We came back up and retested the Fibonacci level perfectly, taking another Fibonacci, same thing. I mean, I love Fibonacci so much. I love Fibonacci. Ugh. I usually don't drink wine, but you know, sometimes I do. Okay, so we don't have on OCT. If we see the market pulling back up, I'm using the 5 minute chart now. If you see the market pulling up to 2,785, potentially 2,2896, that is the second target that I could potentially see the market retesting. If you see more momentum, you could potentially come back up and retest 2,3172. So everything depends on how the market is behaving around these levels. Now I'm looking at the 5 minutes chart, but the 5 minutes chart is not as respected as the higher time frames, obviously. It's a very, very small time frame. But if that is the case, take profit one. Okay, so take profit one at 2,1670. Take profit two, 2,800. 2,800, sorry. Take profit three, 1,9750. Your voice is super low. Maybe it's because I'm too far away from the microphone. Is it better now? Is it better now? I finished uni years. We're waiting for the pullback on Bitcoin. It takes some time. You can see on the lower time frames now that we can see the market having a pullback. Feel steady now. Okay, good. So it's just a waiting game for us now. It's just a waiting game for us now, boys and girls. Drink more wine. Yeah, and I'm gonna be like, you buy the market? No. And the market goes straight down. No. Bitcoin senses would not be happy on me if I would do that. Yeah, so I just wish the market to have some movement now, because we want the market to do that while we are having the live stream, or while we have the live stream. Near going to the downside, be careful. Yes, I know you sold. Natalie has a cat, but she also needs a dog and bougie and a goldfish. To be honest, I like this cat because he doesn't want me to cuddle so much with him, and I don't like when animals are too attached to me. So he's a pretty perfect cat. I can go and kiss him sometimes, but nothing more than that. So we're looking at Cadena. I know we were looking at this one yesterday also, so we're just gonna see what happened. I don't know why I did it. Okay, so I did expect the market to no. This was really good, guys. So we did use a Fibonacci from 6.600 to the low at 5.395. Market came back up and retested this. Can you see, guys, how perfectly this is? Like, guys, come on. Like, you can't even lie about this. I'm always blown away when it comes to Fibonacci levels. I'm so happy. And now we're reaching target one at 5.100, going to the lower time frames, because obviously we can trade the market on the lower time frames. Same setup that we do have on Bitcoin and Ethereum. We're dragging a Fibonacci from 5.678 to the low at 5.475. If we now see the market pulling back up to potentially 5.575 and 5.600, the targets that I have for Korea, if that is the case, is 5.428, target 3, 5.322. You can choose target 3 at 5.230 or 5.100. So just a little push to the upside. We are in a downtrend. When you have this huge volatility to the downside, you always usually what happens is that you just see the market having a quick pullback and then market drops. So that is why I do have also my sell limit order on Bitcoin at 40,200, waiting for the market to pull back up to this level if we don't see the drop now. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see the market having a little pullback and then you see market is slowly breaking to the downside. And guys, don't forget that on Bybit you can also receive a bonus up to $4,100 by using the link in the chat that you can see that I pinned, and you are supporting Big Consensus by doing that. So I am always available for you guys. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please go inside and do that so we can sit here and learn trading together. I've been trading since 2018. I'm sitting at the charts every single day, and I've been doing that since 2018, and it actually pays off really good. And I'm just sharing my knowledge with you. I share a lot of good knowledge with you guys, and I've been back testing myself for so many years, and I can actually see now how much that has been benefiting for me. So if you want to go to something that I think is really important when it comes to trading, I know you already know this, but if there's any new people in here, please go inside to Market Structure Part 1 and Market Structure Part 2, because this is the core of trading. This is the basic. If you understand market structure, you will understand so much more when you're using tools like trend lines, Fibonacci levels. If you're using any type of indicators, just combine all of these things together, because market structure is key. Like, it is key. It is key. Like, it's like you trying to drive a car without wheels. It will never happen. It's just the same thing when it comes to trading. If you don't understand market structure, you will be completely lost. It will not take you anywhere, to be honest. And if you want to join our Telegram group and be a part of the community that we do have, Lauren just put up the link to our community Telegram group, and everything is for free. So just go in there and talk to people that love trading and cryptocurrencies, just as you, even if you're a holder or if you are a Smoking Joe. I drove a car without wheels before. Maybe because you were smoking and you actually didn't do it, but in your head you thought you were doing it. Just joking. I believe you. It won't let me join. Really? What? Okay, try the Discord. Try the Discord instead. Don't drink and drive, smoke and fly. Not life advice. I just tried. Go into Discord instead, because we also have Discord. I don't know if it's working. Okay, so I need to contact the team if it's not working. Okay, let's see, guys. So we're just waiting for the market, obviously, to push to the upside. If the market comes to these levels, I can go on to another live stream, because right now the market is just either we're just having a huge bounce to the upside, to the downside. So I'm gonna end this live stream right now, guys, because we need to let the market do whatever it's supposed to do, and it's the same thing on every other pair, because everyone is obviously the same. So we're just waiting for everyone. Natalie, I messaged you on Facebook. Not sure it's the best place to send you a DM. Anna, if you go in, I haven't received anything, but please go into the Telegram group or the Discord, and you can just hashtag me and I can answer you from there. It's easier for you to do that. Guys, thank you so much for being guys, one more like and we are having 100 likes on this live stream. So I don't know who that one person is, but please like the live stream so we can have 101. Okay, 1 2. Okay, I'm waiting for the 100 likes. So if you haven't liked the live stream, please go inside and do that. We'll be so happy. Okay, whatever.
Welcome, everybody, to the B Word. I'm Steve Lee, the lead of Square Crypto, and I'm here today to moderate a discussion about Bitcoin that will span from what makes it special to its relationship with energy, the community ethos, and the future of Bitcoin. I'm joined by three special guests. The first is Cathie Wood, founder, CEO, and CIO of ARK Invest. Next is Elon Musk, techno king of Tesla and chief engineer of SpaceX. And finally, Jack Dorsey, CEO of Square and CEO of Twitter. So we have a lot to talk about today. So let's get to the talk and get right to it. I'm going to start off by asking each of you a question, which is, what's shaped and influenced your views on Bitcoin? And let's start with Cathie.
Okay, Steve, thank you. Well, the first thing was our focus on disruptive innovation. So starting in 2011, Brett Winton, our director of research, who I know will be on the program later, he started talking about this thing called Bitcoin at the time. And it was a curiosity as we were doing our brainstorms in research. But as we learned more about this open source ecosystem, that might fulfill the role of the payment system that the internet neglected to build into the system, not expecting commerce. We thought, this might be something. And then I became even more interested when I realized that my economics would come into play as well here. And Art Laffer, my mentor from USC, and a monetary scholar. In 2014, I asked him if he would collaborate on a paper on Bitcoin. And he was a bit of a naysayer at first, but agreed to read the paper. He read the paper, tore it up, and from an economics point of view, really wanted to understand this. And he said, I think you got something here. This is a rules-based monetary system. I've been waiting for this for my entire career. So the combination of disruptive innovation generally, economics on top of that, and the huge misunderstanding out there as to what this is, that was intriguing and launched our research effort.
Thank you. Elon, what's influenced your views on Bitcoin?
Well, I've thought about money for quite a while, obviously, since the PayPal days. And then the companies that preceded that, X.com, which I created, and Confinity, which Peter Thiel, Max Levchin, Luke Howry, and others created. When we combined the companies and made PayPal. So I've been thinking about money for a long time. And really, I think it's best to think of money as an information system, primarily an information system for labor allocation. For practical purposes, it exists in a series of heterogeneous databases, like very different databases in bank mainframes around the world. It moves quite slowly in reality. It seems to move fast sometimes, and it does with PayPal, which is real time. But the vast majority of the systems out there are batch processing. So the actual reconciliation may take 1 to 5 business days, sometimes longer. And you have the ACH system, which is ancient and still in operation, which allows transfers effectively like a check would be an ACH transfer, but it's not secure. And you've got the credit card systems, which are also not secure. It would be like handing your username and password to a stranger in a restaurant if you buy a meal. So there's definitely an opportunity for something that is better from an information theory standpoint. So and there you can think of it like data on a network. I think is the way to view it. What has the most throughput? What has the least error? What drops the fewest packets? Fraud, for example, being a source of error, and government interference in currencies being a source of error. But it's fundamentally an information system. So I think it makes sense to support something that improves the quality of information with which we conduct the economy. And Bitcoin is a candidate for that. It does, I think, some things well, and it's obviously it's evolving, and there are additional things like Lightning being done on top of Bitcoin. but Bitcoin per se is mostly solving for scarcity, or rather solving for essentially having no throat to choke, decentralized. So there's no one who can be coerced in any way to empty their Bitcoin account. Well, I guess they could technically, but on an individual basis, but the system as a whole cannot. And it has an open ledger, which is also quite good. But transaction volume is low. Transaction cost is high, and usability for the average person is not yet very good. But it has a lot of potential. And I should say that, like, I'm not, and I apologize for taking a long time, but there certainly is a lot to say. In general, I'm a supporter of Bitcoin and the idea of cryptocurrency in general. But as I've said publicly, we do need to watch out for crypto taking, especially Bitcoin, using proof of work to maybe use energy that's maybe a bit too much and not necessarily good for the environment. So, but on balance, I support Bitcoin, and I'm not an investor. The only publicly traded stock I own is Tesla, and the only significant thing I own outside of Tesla is my SpaceX stock that could help create both companies. So, but apart from that, I do own Bitcoin, and Tesla owns Bitcoin, SpaceX owns Bitcoin, and then I do personally own a bit of Ethereum and Dogecoin, of course. So.
Okay, great, thank you. And we'll get into some of those issues in more depth as well. Jack, how about you? What shaped your views of Bitcoin?
The network and the community. It's deeply principled. It's weird as hell. It's always evolving, and it just reminded me of the internet when I was a kid. And I encountered alt cypherpunks when I was fairly young, and this was a topic of discussion for years. I didn't touch it until 2008 when we started Square. Elon and teams at X and PayPal inspired a lot of what we were trying to do, trying to bring in more to a physical world, but we encountered this crazy predatory system that was slow, that was obtuse. And I think, one of the things that we tried to do, which X and PayPal also tried to do, is build an abstraction layer around this complication and around this predatory nature that the financial industry can tend to be, and make it work for people. But when I saw Bitcoin in 2009, you see a chance to replace the whole foundation. And everything that Elon was talking about in terms of ACH and the credit card networks were built with very different agendas in a very different time frame. And it's crazy that they still exist, and they have scaled, but they just are not relevant to today, and they're certainly not relevant to the future, especially when you consider the entire world and countries like Nigeria or Ghana or India, and its interconnection with countries like the United States and Canada and all over Europe. So what really drove my thinking and drives my passion around it is, like, if the internet gets a chance to get a native currency, what will that be? And to me, it's Bitcoin, because of those principles, because of that creation story, because of its resilience, because of the number of tests it's been. But what inspires me the most is just the community driving it. It just reminds me of the early internet. It's the only reason that I have a career, because I learned so much from people like who are building Bitcoin today, and I continue to learn in that sense, and I'm so grateful for it.
So that's a good segue into the next question I'd like to ask you, Jack. Is you said before that Bitcoin changes everything. Can you speak more to that?
Well, I just think that a lot of what we experience in life, when you really get down to the foundation, a lot of our monetary policies, a lot of our monetary systems cause so much distraction and so much cost. And when you get to a system where you have the potential for people to truly own it, They can verify it themselves. You don't have to have trust going in. You don't have to trust it at all. You can verify it through source code or whatever your appetite is, and that any particular person can help drive the future of it. And at the same time, it's not controlled by any state. It's not controlled by any bank. It's not controlled by any corporation. And these three parties of people who participate in the network, people who mine, and also the developers, constantly debating the correct roadmap and the way forward, is a beautiful thing. And I don't know of many other consensus-based models that have existed at that scale for this long with this amount of success. And we're still fairly early. So when, I met a woman in Ethiopia 2 years ago, and she was trying to create the lift for Ethiopia. Elon, I think I reached out to you at that time as well because she really wanted some Teslas. She still has to take paper fiat cash from her passengers and pay all of her drivers in the same way because there's no monetary system that she can utilize. There's nothing digital. And Africa as a continent is hugely interconnected from a monetary standpoint, but also hugely taxed in that same way. So a lot of the potential that I see, the internet having a native currency helps her build her business in a much faster way. And also, if you consider something like Bitcoin existing before YouTube, before Twitter, before Facebook, a lot of the business models that we have today would not be the same. We would certainly not have the dependency we have upon the advertising business model if Bitcoin existed pre-Twitter. And I think the amount of business models that it enables, the amount of innovation it enables going forward, especially when you can consider the whole internet instead of going country by country by country by country, which you have to whenever you're dealing with finance, it really just opens the aperture. And that is what I want to see in my lifetime is a currency that is standard and sound for the internet that everyone can use.
Great. A hallmark of Bitcoin is its fixed supply of 21 million coins. Elon referenced that earlier. It may be the first system that humans have created that humans cannot later change. Kathy, I'm curious, with your background in monetary history and macroeconomics, what are your thoughts on that type of system?
Oh, well, I'll recount the story about Art Laffer and our going through the paper. And he said, as I said, first rules-based monetary system, global, ever. This is a very big idea. Once we had convinced him of the ecosystem itself. Now, this is the role that it's playing, given that the rule is a quantity rule, that 21 million units, is really a store of value role. So there are three roles of money. Store of value, very important. The means of exchange, so for transactions, and the unit of account. Every good priced in terms of whatever the unit is. So store of value is its primary use right now. The others exist. Unit of account, reserve currency of the crypto asset ecosystem. That's being seeded a little bit towards stable coins right now. But the store of value is a very big role. And means of exchange with apps built on top of the Bitcoin blockchain, we think is going to become more of a reality. Right now, high value transactions take place over Bitcoin, and that is a very useful role. So we look at those, and I remember saying to Art, "How big could this be?" And he said, "Well, how big is the U.S. monetary base?" Well, today it's $8 trillion. $8 trillion. At the time we were talking, it was $4 trillion. So we've gone through another crisis since then. And so this store of value, this idea that purchasing power will go up over time, if demand rises relative to supply. Supply ultimately fixed at 21 million units. That's a very good thing. Purchasing power going up globally around the world. And this idea that it's a hedge against confiscation of wealth. And that can take place in a myriad of ways. But inflation, and especially hyperinflation in emerging markets, is the primary way. Talk about destroying purchasing power. So that's a very big idea. And I'll also mention deflation. In some ways, it's a hedge against deflation. I know some people are confused that we at ARC think that we're in a deflationary environment here in the United States. If that is true, the odds of a hyperinflation in the rest of the world, especially in emerging markets, is also true. So, but this deflation, and we learned from 0809, there's counterparty risk associated with deflation. And I think Bitcoin would be a hedge against that eventuality as well. So it's a very big idea.
Right. I suspect among us, there's not a lot of debate about Bitcoin's potential as a store of value. But Jack, you referenced earlier it being or becoming the native currency of the internet. Can you speak more to that, and also how it relates to maybe how institutions think about it?
Yeah, I mean, like just simple example. If I happen to be in Ghana and my family is in Nigeria, currently I can take anywhere from and I need to send money back, anywhere from 10 to 30% off the top just to send that money back. Whereas if you just focus on the worldwide remittance problem, Bitcoin solves so many of those problems today instantly without having to go through any intermediaries or any slowness or complicated systems that a corporation or a state created. So I think having sound money that is separate from the state is the idea. Having it completely verifiable by everyone, including the state, including corporations, including individuals, including developers who want to build on top of it, is quite powerful, and that's what keeps it secure and strong. And I think that's we need more of that, which is why one of the reasons why this conversation is so important is as entities come into the space, it's not just buying an asset and holding on to an asset and treating it as an investment. There's something special that created this, and something precious and something very unique, which has to be protected, and we need to do whatever we can to help that thrive as well.
Elon, I'm curious your opinion on this. You mentioned earlier about Bitcoin's throughput, or the importance of throughput, maybe some concerns around Bitcoin. Can you speak? Do you think Bitcoin can become peer-to-peer cash?
Well, Bitcoin does have a fundamental scarcity limit at the base layer that's designed in. That doesn't mean you can't have some layer 2 system in theory like Lightning. And I understand Lightning is doing well in some small countries. There's some question mark as to whether you need a money transmitter license. Just a debate as to whether that's needed, given that it is not open ledger. So that's a whole separate debate, of course. But Bitcoin by itself simply cannot scale to be the monetary system for the world at base layer. But with a second layer, this is possible depending upon how that second layer is implemented. That's part of why I think there may be some merit to something that may seem silly, like Ethereum, like Dogecoin. I think Ethereum also, like I said, the three things I own outside of SpaceX and Tesla, and obviously it's Neuralink and Boring Company, but of any significance are Bitcoin by far, and then some Ethereum and some Doge. So if the price of Bitcoin goes down, I lose money. I'm not sort of I might pump, but I don't dump. It's not a case of. I definitely do not believe in getting the price high and selling or anything like that. And I would like to see Bitcoin succeed. I think there's some merit to this is not a slam on Bitcoin. There's some merit to considering something that has higher max transaction rates and a lower transaction cost, and kind of seeing how far you could take a single layer network where the exchanges act as a de facto second layer. I think you can probably take that further than people realize, and as bandwidth increases over time, latency decreases. SpaceX's Starlink is actually playing a role in this, and I think long term people will probably have, access to worldwide access to gigabit level connectivity at low latency, and so at low cost. And so then, your base layer could do a lot of transactions if you take that into account. So yeah, but like I said, Bitcoin with a layer 2 system certainly could scale to do a vast number of transactions. Same goes for Ethereum.
Question about the scaling at the layer 1. The concern from the past 5 years of debate in the Bitcoin community is that would sacrifice too much decentralization and hurt the censorship-resistant properties of Bitcoin. I'm curious if what are your thoughts on that? Are you sensitive to that? And are you concerned about losing some of the special properties of Bitcoin or another cryptocurrency by scaling at layer 1?
Yeah, I mean, these things are helpful to use the physics tools of thinking and say, scale up, scale down, and see if it still makes sense. So if scaling up the transaction block doesn't make sense, why don't you scale it down? And have it be, so that somebody, with a laptop from 2008 can still run a Bitcoin node. Why not slow it down? Oh, you want to slow it down? Well, maybe you're at the wrong number then.
there's actually there's members in the community that do want to slow it down, but I understand your point.
It's silly. The reality is the average person is not going to run a Bitcoin node. So this is and Bitcoin. It was a lot of clever ideas, but these parameters were set. I don't know in 2008 or something, maybe 2009. And there's been some improvements since then, but not a lot. So, it's sort of like if there was still in 2008 there was still a non-trivial number of people on modems. So, now it is quite common to get 100 megabit connection just for a house. Some houses have gigabit connections. So, and that trend is obviously in the direction of higher bandwidth and lower latency. And if somebody else doesn't do it, Starlink certainly will. So I have high confidence that you will be able to maintain a decentralized finance system while still having a much bigger blockchain, aka ASCII text ledger, a hash ledger. You can make the hash ledger bigger without suffering from decentralization as the average connectivity improves, obviously.
One idea would be to to put a Bitcoin full node in Starlink terminals. That way more people would be running it.
Actually, I have run this by the team at one point. I had this idea, which is kind of off the wall, but let's say you need a little space heater. And normally your space heater would just be pure entropy. But what if that space heater was also a Bitcoin, Ethereum, Doge mining node? Pick your currency. And so then you'd be heated up, and you would also mine your crypto and have connectivity in one.
I love that idea.
Yeah, I mean, better than running a space heater.
Absolutely. Are there any other, so you're drawn to Dogecoin a little bit. Are there any other gaps in Bitcoin that you see that cause you to be drawn towards Dogecoin?
Oh, I think, I mean, I think there's Doge has the Doge community, I think, is somewhat irreverent, obviously, and has great memes and loves dogs, and I love dogs and memes, and it doesn't take itself too seriously, and I think there's Occam's razor, which is the simplest answer is the most likely. It's a summary of Occam's razor. The simplest answer is the most likely one. Then there's a friend of mine came up with a variant on that the most ironic outcome is the most likely one. And then I have a variant on that, which is the most entertaining outcome is the most likely one. So if that is true, then the most ironic and entertaining outcome would be that the cryptocurrency that was started as a joke to make fun of cryptocurrencies ends up being the leading cryptocurrency. That would be the most ironic outcome.
Jack, what are your thoughts on that? Is Bitcoin resilient enough to overcome that?
I think it's resilient, but also I think like you find, I mean, that's what attracts me to Bitcoin in the first place is the irreverence. A lot of that just brings it forward, and at first go it makes it a little bit inaccessible, but as people get into it, it makes it more accessible and more spreadable. And I absolutely think the resilience is there. I think it's important to have fun as well. And anyway folks can express themselves. I think that goes back to the main idea of like how do we create a native currency for the internet? Anything that goes towards that path, like that's whatever wackiness or fun we can have along the way. That's going to make it a lot more enjoyable, and it's going to make a lot more people want to use it.
I'd also point out there's nothing stopping someone from creating a Bitcoin wallet that's like fun and has memes, has dogs. That's possible as well. Great. Let's move on.
Right now at this point.
Let's move on to the next topic, which is Bitcoin and energy. It's a really hot topic that lots of people are talking about. Let's start with Elon. You've been vocal on this. You've said that. I mean, you said many things about it. You've also said that Tesla will resume payments in Bitcoin payments if the renewable energy is approximately 50% and sort of looks like it's on a positive future trend. What do you think the state of things are with respect to that?
Yeah, so I do think that there appears to be a positive trend in the energy usage of Bitcoin. Actually, part of this is due to the drop in Bitcoin price. What I observed, or what I thought I was seeing, there may be some disagreements on this, but from when Tesla announced that it had acquired Bitcoin and was doing Bitcoin transactions, there was a massive run-up in the Bitcoin price, and also a massive increase in the amount of energy used to mine Bitcoin. And I think I understand renewable energy quite a bit. I mean, Tesla does solar and interacts with a lot of wind generation through our mega pack, because basically need to store energy from wind and from solar. So we're pretty plugged into the renewable energy industry. And there's just no way that you could basically double or triple the amount of energy in such a short period of time with renewables. But you could shovel coal that fast. And so I was like, look, this is too sketchy. Tesla's mission is accelerating the advent of sustainable energy. We can't be the company that does that and also not do appropriate diligence on the energy usage of Bitcoin. So all I did was I said, look, we're going to suspend Bitcoin transactions for now. We're not selling any Bitcoin, nor am I selling anything personally, or nor is SpaceX selling any Bitcoin. Again, I want to emphasize SpaceX, Tesla, and I own Bitcoin. I also own a little bit of Ethereum and Doge, but the companies just own Bitcoin, and the Bitcoin that I own is worth much more than the Ethereum or Doge. So clearly, if I'm, if these actions negatively affect me financially, if I was purely financially motivated, then I would not express this reticence about Bitcoin energy usage. Now, it looks like Bitcoin is shifting a lot more towards renewables, and a bunch of the heavy-duty coal plants that were being used, unequivocally being used, this is not a question mark, have been shut down, especially in China. So I think it's probably, we want to do a little bit more diligence to confirm that the